In my Lego kingdom. While King Cuthbert and his allies celebrate the opening of his new castle, meanwhile, the Dragon Emperor Nograd has commanded the leaders of his two factions, General Scaliosus of the Dragon Legions and Lord Vinton, commander of the vampire troops, to settle their feud by dueling for command of Nograd's forces of evil. But, unbeknownst to the Dragon Emperor, the Old One has awakened and entered into secret negotiations, leading to an unlikely alliance, the Dragon Legions and the vampires, under the joint command of Lord Vinton and General Scaliosus, and all under the master control of the Old One himself. So, just as the Emperor gives the command to start the duel, distracted by the event, he is suddenly and quickly overcome by elite squads of dragons and vampires who quickly overpower him and within seconds decapitate the surprised dragon and take control of his armies. The Emperor Nograd is dead. Long live the Emperor Old One. The Old One, upon hearing this agreeable news, places his invasion plan into motion. From the sea, he will send a legion of his skeleton warriors, and from the land, his ground armies under their new commanders, all calculated to surprise King Cuthbert and squeeze him by land and by sea. But, unbeknownst to the dragon and vampire commanders, King Cuthbert's spies, the Wolfpack Rangers, have gathered this intelligence and hurried back to the castle to warn the king of what will most certainly be a state of siege. Will this deadly plan mean the end of King Cuthbert and the conquering of his land? Or will the newly built castle make all the difference to the kingdom's defenses? The answer lies in the future. Tune in again next time and see for yourself. Hi, I'm Tom Bray since 1954. Welcome back to my channel. This week was a pick-a-brick week. And if you're a Lego fan like I am, you know what that means. That means fun in the U.S. mail. And I have to say, I've been extremely satisfied with the orders that I've gotten from Pick-a-Brick. I only order the best sellers so that they're fulfilled from the United States. And they arrive in a timely fashion. I don't think it's taken me more than a week to get an order. And usually I notice that they're out the door from their warehouse in a couple of days at most. So really the transit time is really the shipping time. So I'm just as happy as can be with those orders. And this time I put in an order especially because I believe that the skeleton minifig is probably one of the most versatile minifigs around. Especially for a fantasy kingdom. And what I wanted to do this week is to build out my skeleton army, which I've already started building, so that I could finally use my 3-in-1 pirate ship that I built this past summer in my fantasy castle world. And I've been trying to think, how am I going to do that? And then it occurred to me, why not use it as a ghost ship manned by a skeleton army? And so that's exactly what I did, under the control of my new emperor of all the evil forces, the Old One, who's a vampire, who last week rose from his grave. And so that's why I put in that order to get those parts. And since last week I finished the Lion Knight's Castle, which, as you heard me describe, is one of the best builds I've ever done in Lego. Although it took me a while to do, I've just been having so much fun with it. It just looks great on my Lego table. I wanted to kind of amp up the Lions Knights minifigs, the army, and do some more army building with that and buy those figures while I can, because I believe this castle will probably retire at the end of the year. I'm not certain of that, but that's my understanding. So while those parts are available, I wanted to grab it. We saw how fast the Wolfpack figures come and go, and I didn't want that to happen with the Lion Knights castle figures. So I grabbed some of those, and the accoutrements that went with it, armor, as well as helmets and weapons. And then, of course, the skeletons. And the skeleton extras that I bought for my skeleton army included a white helmet, a white shield, and a white sword, which I thought it was a really cool idea. I've done that before, but the idea of bleached bones in the sun that are just all white. And then some of the other troops I have outfitted out with black shields and black weapons and black helmets. And I've done a bunch of different things to build a kind of army that you could see in the pictures and in the lore video that I just shared with you. But probably my favorite thing that I've done is the winged skeletons. I built the old one's lair, his tomb, out of a Harry Potter set, The Room of Requirements, that retired at the end of last season. And I kind of tricked it out and modded it, as you'll remember, with cobwebs and a bunch of different cool stuff. In this pick-a-brick order, I finally got my spiders to put on those spider webs, so you can see that they look particularly terrifying now with my brown and black spiders that I've been able to add to that. It's just really cool and really adds so much. That's kind of what was in the order. The parts to build the winged skeleton army that I wanted to kind of expand. You know, I started it for the old one's castle, but I wanted to expand to put on the ship, and so that's what I did. I took the wings from the Ranger character from the Dungeons and Dragons minifig series, and I added it just to a standard skeleton, and then added a white hood over the top of it, kind of a Ranger type hood. I thought it would be very cool for them to have a different kind of a headpiece. And then I'm really happy with this. I took the blue or kind of purplish weapons that the Orion minifig character held in the previous collectible minifigure series, the Space series. But I thought it would be really a cool idea if my flying skeletons had this kind of bludgeony weapon that they could swoop down and kind of batter enemy troops. And then in the other skeleton hand, I put the kind of weapon that's used in Ninjago sets, but I always think of it as kind of razor fingers. And so those are the two weapons I used for my flying winged skeletons, and I'm really glad I did because I think they turned out very cool. I would argue that the skeleton minifigure is probably the most versatile minifigure you can find now, and the least expensive to build an army of in the fantasy castle realm. And I would encourage you, if you haven't built a skeleton army yet, to go out and get some parts now. The skeleton is available in a couple of sets, but before any of those sets retire, who knows with Lego what stays in stock and what doesn't. That's what I did this week. I was really excited about it. I hope you enjoyed the lore. I'm looking forward to getting started on building the medieval town square that's been sitting in a box on the shelf to kind of use with that Lion Knight's castle. What are you building right now? Let me know in the comments. And as always, thank you so much for your support. I do appreciate it. Happy building.